You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so don't build your business without one. This is Mindset Monday, where we lay out the tools, frameworks, and mindset you need to scale your contracting or trading business today. All right, welcome back to a Mindset Monday. Here we are, Monday, March 23rd of 2026. Isn't it crazy how fast this year is already going? Listen, I don't know what's going on in the world. There's a whole lot going on, but this I will tell you. The trees, the fruit trees are blooming now about a month early, which I don't know. I'm not really opposed to because I love fruit. So we'll see what happens there. But welcome back to Mindset Monday. My name is Gerritt Bake. I am your host. I am the founder of Build Pro. We help contractors build systems to help scale their business. We may or may not be working on some cool stuff behind the scenes, but I'll let you know later. We are here in conjunction with our good friends over at Contractor Plus, Justin Smith and the boys. If you're not using Contractor Plus as your CRM, you might want to give it a look, as they say. If you guys are here with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old Monday shout out. Well, I'm waiting for you guys to drop some names for me. I want to share a little funny story. So this last week, we've been having issues here at our office, and the issues are related to HVAC. Now, unfortunately, I can't use any of the guys that I know because the building owner is the one that has to take care of it. And ultimately they're the ones that have to figure out, what to do and what they're going to pay for it. Well, with my limited knowledge of HVAC, they have to replace the chillers. They're on the roof. They cool the whole building. They're not working anymore. And this building's probably 30 plus years old. They got to replace them. And we knew last summer and they didn't replace them. I got a little portable unit, like one of those ones you buy at Home Depot with the exhaust that runs into the ceiling. Yeah, that's what I had. And it was horrible, right? So winter came, things cooled off, obviously, because it's winter. But now I've been having this like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Last week, I had 2 days that were above 78 degrees. One got to 80 in my office. Now, outside, when you're at the beach, hey, 80 is great. You're walking around, 80 is not so bad. In an office, static air, no movement, 80, no fun, right? Literally sweating my butt cheeks in my seat. So we've been dealing with this back and forth. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Until I make this a priority, it's just not going to be. But which, by the way, they hired a handyman HVAC guy, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it is. So this guy's been coming in and out for the last 4 months, almost every day. I'm rewiring this. I'm rerouting that. I'm putting this over here. I'm doing this. A couple of weeks ago, it smelled like something was burning in here. And I went out into the hallway and eventually found him. And he's like, oh yeah, I was welding some stuff on the roof. This is a 3-story building, by the way. I'm like, yeah, thanks for the heads up. I got people in my office wondering if the building's going to burn down, right? So here we are going back and forth with all this stuff. And finally, I was like, you know what? If nothing happens, then I got to do something about this. And so I called my commercial agent and I was like, hey, man, here's what's going on. And we might need to find a new space. So we're playing back and forth, phone tag and whatnot. Well, this was actually a point of frustration for me. And I'll tell you why. Don't worry, it'll come back to you. This was a point of frustration for me because for me, when someone asks me to do something and I'm in a committed relationship with them, well, I'm probably going to do it. Why? Because I want that relationship to continue, right? So I ask for a list of properties and we give him the criteria, right? Well, I don't hear back from him for 2 days. And then finally he reaches back out. He's like, sorry, been with this big commercial client, which I totally understand, right? Like I'm a little guy and he's talking to some guy that wants 80,000 square feet. I want like 3,000, right? So yeah, there's bigger money in that. Totally get it. But I didn't like the lack of communication, right? And then I'm like, well, what about Friday? Can you go out with us on Friday? Here's a list. My wife's already gone through LoopNet and all these different places. Here's a list. Can you help us with this? And he's like, well, I've already committed to go out of town with my wife and my kid, but send me the list and I'll have my assistant work on it. I was like, whatever. So my wife and I created the list. She's like super organized. So she created this driving chart to okay, which location to go to first based on their geographical area. It was awesome. We visited 8 spots on Friday, right? Now, why am I telling you this? Not because I need your HVAC services, but I probably do, but I can't do anything about it. And not because I want you to feel guilty or sorry for me. I'm telling you this because I want you to think about it from the perspective of you being the contractor working with a client, right? Now, this may be a one-off client, right? Mrs. Jones, you replace her drain or, you install a ceiling fan or you redo her roof, whatever it is that you do, right? Might be something simple like that. Or it could be something more complicated or more established, right? We talk about you're working with a GC and you want to keep working with that guy. Well, I will tell you right now, having played both sides, I will tell you right now that the most important thing in the world when it comes to business is a very simple thing. Do what you said you were going to do. That's it. Do what you said you're going to do. Which, by the way, honesty, the best policy. Okay. If you can do something, then commit to doing it and do it. If you can't, it's okay to say, like, I'm sorry, I can't do it, but don't overcommit to something that you think you can do, or you're somehow going to figure out and you can't do it. Right? Nothing worse. Nothing worse. I literally had a GC reach out to me earlier today, and he had posted online about needing a plumber, and I'm like trying to get a hold of him. He didn't respond. And basically what he was frustrated with was his plumber raised prices and didn't tell him about it. Right? Like, hey, listen, we all got to raise prices, right? But be honest about it. Communicate about it. Don't just like surprise somebody with like, hey, surprise, here you go. You thought it was going to be $5,000. It's actually going to be 10, right? Nobody wants that. Now, before we continue, let's welcome those who are here with us. We got NSP Construction out of Ironwood, West Virginia. Welcome. Modern Electrical Services LLC. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Michael with Evergreen GC out of Olympia, Washington. Welcome. Julie with Burton's The Plumbers in Pink. Hello, Julie. And Jesse here with Jesse James Outlaw Electric out of Grantsville, Utah. Again, if you're here with us live, go and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you a good old shout out. Now, today's topic doesn't actually have to do with what I just mentioned to you, but it is super important, okay? Today's topic is related in a way, okay? And here's why. I will tell you that the biggest issue that I see with contractors is not whether or not they have an opportunity to work. It's not. It's the fact that they don't treat their business like it is. It's a business. It's a living, breathing thing, right? I love my daughter to death. She's 22, by the way, and married. I love my daughter to death. She loves to collect plants, right? The little house plants. The problem is that within 2 to 3 weeks, okay, maybe a month if we're nice, within 2 to 3 weeks, those house plants die. They die. Why do they die? Well, some of them because they don't have sunlight. Some of them because they don't have water, right? Some of them because they need, I don't know, pruning, whatever the thing is. They die, right? And I love my daughter to death, but because of her neglect to a living thing, it dies, right? There's no chance of it surviving. I love you, my daughter. Your business is alive. And if you treat it like it's some inanimate object like a phone, well, cool. I can leave the phone there and come back in 8 hours. The phone will still be there. I can come back in 2 weeks and the phone will still be here. Why? Because it's a phone, right? In order for it to do something, I have to tell it to do something. Your business is not like that. When you sit at home and you wait for this thing to ring, you will be waiting for a while because it's not meant to ring, okay? There's some activity that has to happen, usually on your side, that is going to cause that phone to ring, right? Now, I want to get a little more granular. We got, let's see, Handy Hands here, Home Improvement, Bloomfield, New Jersey. Welcome to the show. I want to get a little more granular, and I want to talk specifically about follow-up. I had a mentor, his name's Eddie Wilson, and he sold 79 companies in 1 year. Don't ask, just call him a serial entrepreneur, right? A lot of them are in the construction industry. And he said, the one principle that I teach all of the CEOs that ran all of my business was this. He said, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? Did you know, here's a crazy stat, right? I love stats. I love data, right? Did you know that on average, 80% of sales require 5+ follow-ups to close? 5+ follow-ups. Think about that for a minute, right? Somebody may send you a text message or call you, or they may fill out a form online, or they may meet you at a trade show, whatever the thing is, right? They know who you are. You know who they are. They have something that you can help them solve, a problem that you can help them solve, right? That's the point that you're at. Maybe you've actually given them an estimate, verbal, hopefully not, written in a contract, you emailed it to them, you showed it to them on an iPad, whatever it was, right? 80% require 5+ follow-ups, not just 5+ follow-ups. But on average, a business owner only follows up once, one time. Can you see my finger there? Ooh, here you go. One time. And so you think that by following up once, I did my job. I don't need to do anything else. Because I followed up once, they should reach back out to me. I sent them a phone call. I sent them a text message. I sent an email. Like, they should follow up with me. They won't. And you're going to lose the deal. You're going to lose the deal because people are people. And you can get mad at the fact that they're distracted, they're busy, they're ignorant, they're whatever. You can get mad at that, or you can understand human psychology and realize I, as the business owner, need to learn how to follow up properly. Case in point, new client, they're plumbers. Okay. They do over 2 million a year. I think they did 2.4, 2.5 last year, right? That's not bad. But right now, they're slow. They're spending thousands of dollars a month on advertising, and they are slow. And they were in here super frustrated, right? I'm talking about, creating systems and processes and all these different things. And I could see in their eyes, like they're distracted, like something's not right. So I asked them, I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, we need more leads. I was like, great, let's solve that problem. What was the first question I asked them? I said, how big is your list? And they said, what list? And I said, the list of clients that you've worked with over the last, let's call it 5 years. And they talked a little bit back and forth. And they said, we think it's about 6,000 service plumbers, 6,000. And I looked at them and I said, okay, you're telling me you have a lead problem right now. Yes. You're telling me that nobody's calling you. Yes. Let me ask you a question. What have you done for the 6,000 people on your list? What do you think the answer was? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Think about that. 6,000 people who have already purchased from you. They already know you. They like you. They trust you. That you have not followed up with. 6,000. Now, they run a particular business model where their techs are also salespeople, which is great. A lot of you guys do. That's awesome. It could be you, could be your techs. Doesn't matter. Here's the important thing, okay? What are you going to do? Right now, I know a lot of you guys are like, we don't have enough leads. Totally get it. What are you going to do, okay? Now, what did I tell them to do? It was super simple. I said, take that list, okay? Segment it by the people who spent the most money, and then divide that by 4. Why by 4? Because there's 4 people who are going to call and start offering free inspections, 35% discount on services, whatever the thing is that they decide. We gave them 4 or 5 different options, but get on the phone and have a conversation. Think about this. Okay. If they call 100 people in a week, which is low, by the way, 100 people in a week, and they get 10 people to answer, that's 10 jobs. Their average job amount is $1,500. That's an extra $15,000 that week, because they made 100 phone calls. How many of you would make 100 phone calls for an extra $15,000? Right? So the fortune is in the follow-up. Give you another example from my perspective, right? So for those that for those of you that don't know, we have a commercial construction company, right? We do framing, paint, drywall. Those are the 3. That's what we do. We recently landed our first deal with a large commercial company. They do about $750 million a year, right? It took 6 months of me having conversations, inviting to lunch, walking jobs that I didn't even have any business walking, all of these different things to land the first job, which was a $15,000 paint job. Super excited, right? Then they sent the requirements. Now, I'm not going to get super deep into it, but this is what I want you to know. In the commercial space, when you're playing with the big dogs, the requirements go through the roof. Insurance requirements. In fact, today they asked me for a pollution waiver. I'm like, a what? Anyway, different conversation, right? But all of this has led to not just that one job, but now they've given us, in the space of 10 days, 6 additional jobs to bid. So when I tell you the fortune is in the follow-up, I'm speaking from experience. I'm telling you what we're doing that works. I'm telling you what we're telling our clients to do that works. And if you don't want to do follow-up, hey, great. You'll always be, I'm not going to bag on the handy guy, but handy manny, right? Which basically means it's you, it's your truck. And when the phone rings, you go out. And when it doesn't, you don't. Okay. You have a choice. You have a choice on how you want to run your business. So here's a couple of things that I want you guys to understand. Okay. Now, number one, most important. Okay. Remember, this is your business. Nobody's going to care about it as much as you do. So here's the most important thing. Speed wins. Speed wins, right? We watch sports all the time. Speed wins, right? But speed wins in business too. Are you the first one to follow up? Are you the first one to respond? Are you the first one to say, yes, we can help you, right? I will tell you statistic, right? According to AGC, Associated General Contractors, they said responding within the first hour makes you 7 times more likely to close. I will increase that by say responding within the first few minutes. Somebody calls you, answer the phone. If you can't, for some reason, call back. And if they don't answer, call back again and call back again, right? You need to get them on the phone. They called you for a reason. And it wasn't so they could sell you some new rims for your truck. Hopefully not, right? So speed is of the essence, okay? Number 2, I talked about follow-up, but follow-up in your mind right now, I know exactly what you're doing. You're like, oh, who do I need to follow up with? He said a list of 6,000. Well, I only have 32 clients. Well, who are my 32 clients? Well, which ones are the ones that pay the most? And your mind is just going a million miles an hour in 16 different directions. So slow down, cowboy. Let's do this, okay? Create a follow-up schedule. Depending on the number of either outstanding bids you have out there or people to follow up with that were past clients or bids that you need to submit or have submitted, all these things, right? Break it down and say, okay, what am I going to follow up on and how am I going to follow up on, right? You have to create a process around it. Otherwise, it just becomes organized chaos, okay? It might be, hey, the first one is the next day. What you say is a recap. You send them an email, say, hey, John, who's the estimator with, ABC Construction. John, we sent you the paint bid yesterday, just following up to make sure you got it. See if you had any questions, right? Then day 3, if you haven't heard back, day 3, you're calling them and you're like, hey, John, did you have any issues with the bids? You need us to talk about numbers a little bit. Like, where are we at? What do we need to do? Right. And then day 5, right? You might stop by the office, right? Now, obviously with homeowners, it's a little different, but the point is you have a follow-up process. It's all about the process. Okay. If you already submitted a bid, you were in person, you went to go look at Mrs. Jones' water heater. She says, I'm not really sure. You couldn't close her there. Great. Do you just walk away and never respond back and wait for her to call you? Or are you on it? Mrs. Jones, I appreciate you letting us into your house yesterday. We'd love to come back and see what we need to do to get this going for you, right? Follow up. You're not always going to have the best what's the word? The thing I'm trying to say. You're always not going to be the most eloquent, right? You're not going to say the right thing every single time, but that's not what it's about, right? They want to value you. This person's on top of it. They've called me twice. They've texted me 3 times. They sent me 2 emails. This means something to them. They're going to want to take care of me, right? If it's not scheduled, though, it won't happen. Now, why is it that this system works? Okay. After working with literally over 1,000 contractors, between the workshops that I've done, clients we've had, all the different things I've done over the years, we've worked with over 1,000 contractors. Here's a list of why I know that this system works. Okay. Timing beats talent. Timing beats talent. You're not always going to know what to say or how to say it. Okay. But you need to understand people, again, are people. They don't always say no. They get busy. They forget. They hesitate. They get overwhelmed. They get distracted, right? They're humans, just like you and I. They're humans. And so our job is to say, I'm here to remind you of the value that we bring. I'm here to remind you why it is that you said you wanted to do that. I'm here to remind you how much better your life's going to be when we do the thing, replace your water heater, put in the ceiling fan, whatever the thing is. Okay. Remember this. Okay. The best contractor doesn't always win. I see this all the time. The best contractor doesn't always win. The one who follows up does. So this is an invitation that I have for all of you. What can you do this week to follow up that will increase the likelihood of you landing the next job, the next 10 jobs, the next 32 jobs, right? What is the thing for you? For some of you, you have a large existing list and you're waiting for new jobs to come in. Great. While you're waiting, go hit the list that you already have. How much does it cost you to offer a free inspection? How much does it cost you to offer up a free warranty check? How much does it cost you to come by and do a free diagnostic? How much? It doesn't cost you. Yes, it costs you time. I get it. Right. But like, understand that you're going to be paying for marketing one way or another. And there's a higher likelihood of you closing somebody who already knows you than somebody who doesn't. Right. For those of you who are sending out a lot of bids, like, I get it. In the last month, I think we've sent out 32 bids. Like, it's the season of bids, right? Everybody waiting for the weather to change. Everybody waiting for the financing to come through. Like, it's the season of bids. Great. Guess what we do every single week? We pick up the phone and we follow up. Why? Because I know that when that job lands, I've just increased the likelihood of me being the guy that gets the phone call. Every time we have a new contractor ask us for a bid and we don't know who they are, the first thing we do is not actually submit the bid. The first thing we do is get them on the phone, have a conversation with them. Who are you? Who are we? Can we actually help you? And if the answer is yes, great. Now we'll start working on the bid. But that doesn't stop there. Then if they're local, which most of them are for me, right? I call them up and I'm like, hey, I'd love to grab coffee for you or with you. I'd love to grab lunch. Hey, can I stop by the office? When are you going to be by? Right? I want to take what is a very surface level relationship and build it into something solid, long-term, so that they don't go look anywhere else, so that I become their guy. So here's the challenge for you guys today. Look at the follow-up that hasn't been done that you need to do. Whether it's the last 5 bids you sent out, whether it's your existing list that could be in the hundreds or even thousands, what can you do to follow up with them that will increase the likelihood of you landing either that job or the next job? Because I will tell you right now, if you take control, you will win. Period. Hands down, without a doubt. Again, the best contractor doesn't always win. The one who follows up does. That's my challenge for you guys this week. All right. You know what time it is. It's time for you guys to get after it. Make this an amazing week. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.